Hi guys, Stingy Prepper here. Today we are going to talk about my camping bag and all the gear I'm taking with me when I go alone for an overnighter into the woods. So let's get to it. The idea of this video is basically to give you some idea of what is important to take with you to spend a good night into the wild, especially if you are a beginner. In the second part of this video, I'm also gonna do a personal evaluation of my camping gear. I'm gonna have a look at what worked for me, what didn't work for me for this first overnighter into the woods. What I can assure you is that I'm gonna ditch some of the items I took with me for this first time, but I'm also gonna get some new ones. Hopefully, this video will help some of you who are currently getting ready to go for their first overnighter alone. So without further ado, let's have a look at the content of my camping bag. So guys, before we dive into each category of prepping for my camping bag, I want to show you this little group of items separately because they come from my get-home bag. So the reason why I wanted to show you this is because I want to make a point, and the point is that you don't need to have two pieces for each article so that you can have these articles in two different bags. You can simply sometimes transfer these items from one bag to the other. Obviously, it's better if you have two pieces for two different bags because then you respect the principle of 2 is 1, 1 is known, but sometimes you cannot do this for all articles. So here I transfer all these items from my get-home bag to my camping bag before I go. So what I want to do is to show you first what is accessible easily on the exterior of the bag and what you're gonna need basically on a regular basis during the day and what should be super accessible. So that's what we are gonna do first. And after that, we are gonna go deeper into the bag step by step from the top to the bottom, showing all the items you need basically at the end of the day or that you don't need to get access to on a regular basis. So let's have a look. So first things first, I want to show you what is in my belt pocket. It's basically gonna be just right here, super easily accessible when I'm hiking. So that's what you fill it first with what you need the most often during the day. So something pretty important on this side, I have all the hygiene necessities. So wet toilet paper, wet wipes, antibacterial ones, and a packet of tissue. Now in the second belt pocket, let's have a look. So again, those are the things I need the most often. So a little microfiber towel, simply to wipe out the sweat, or if I get rinsed into the stream for my hands, my face, etc. And I have solar cream, super ultralight one. And finally, I have super ready access an energy bar that usually I eat in the middle of my hike to keep my energy levels up. And finally, last but not least, a little monocular. And yeah, it's always cool to have this with you because you go outside for a hike, to go camping, and you want to enjoy it at the most as you can. So having a monocular to observe the nature, the wild, it's super interesting. So I always take this with me. Now let's have a look at the front pocket. Also easy access. So if I dig into it, the first thing I'm gonna be able to grab are a pair of working gloves. Very important into the woods. If you want to do a bit of bushcraft, etc., it's always super key to protect your hands. So, pair of gloves. Then, second item in this front pocket, and then we are done. This is my rain jacket. So here, nothing too fancy, a rain jacket from Decathlon in that case. Also important to have, that's the only piece of rain gear I'm always having with me in summer because you never know, it's important against the wind and against the rain. And this can definitely happen also in the middle of summer, you never know. So now let's have a look at the side pockets. First one here pretty important, is a water bottle. In that case, it is empty when I start hiking, because as you will see later, I also have a camel bag into my backpack, but I use it on the camp. And second item here is a seat pad. So again here, very easy item from Decathlon, very cheap, but pretty handy on camp. Now for the second side pocket, here are basically my tools. So the first item I always have with me is obviously my tripod to record these videos into the nature. And then I choose two items to basically try to do a bit of bushcraft in my camp. And those two items were a saw, a folding saw from the brand Silky, and a little shovel that actually I did not use that much. We will talk about this later into the video. So that's it for the side pockets, guys. Now let's check what is easily accessible in the back of the backpack. So typically what you're gonna find on your torso, etc. So very important, maybe the items that has to be the most accessible is a bear spray. So you put it in a pouch like this in the front, and you make sure it's easy to release, not like it was right here. And very important to protect yourself into the wild. A second pouch here is simply a dump pouch. So that's what I'm gonna use to collect some things, some fire starter, for example, or some wild edibles. So that's it for those two pouches. And on the top, I already talked about it, I have the hose of my camel bag. It has a capacity of 2 liters. Again, that's something I'm gonna talk a bit later into the learnings of this video. But yeah, I like to have some water I can drink while I'm hiking, and this way is the most easily accessible. Now the last pocket accessible from the back of the bag is the top one. Lots of interesting items in here, also very important to have them easily accessible. So first and foremost is a sun buff. It's also gonna protect me against the sun, and obviously adding a degree of warmth if needed. So always important. Second item is a bug spray, also anti-ticks, very important for summer. Always have a headlamp with you when you go out alone. You never know when the sun will go down. You can get trapped earlier than what you expected into the woods. So always important to have a headlamp. And two last items, this little pouch here that I've introduced in one of my other videos. That was a video about my get-on bag. You can check the link right here. And yeah, I'm not gonna show the content, but basically it's mostly to have a spare pair of correction glasses. And last but not least, here I have a first aid kit, pretty big as you can see, but it's actually light. It's definitely not full, but I still like to have a decently sized first aid kit when I'm going alone, because I'm a beginner. I can hurt myself pretty fast if I'm not paying attention, so at least I have a way to take care of myself if something happens. So now let's dig properly into the bag, guys. So like I said, let's start from the top and this inner mesh here. That's where basically I'm gonna have different survival items. So well, this is not really survival, but a pen and a way to take notes. So a notebook here. And I'm gonna have a compass. I'm gonna have a backup compass, but why I'm taking, so button compass, but the reason why I'm taking this item is actually because it's multifunction. So I have a whistle here, obviously, as you can see. And I also have a little thermometer, so always handy to have. I like to see what temperature it is while I am out there into the wood, and then I can also share with you the temperature. And last but not least is my fire kit. I'm not gonna go into details in this video, but later in my different videos I'm gonna show the exact content of this fire kit. And last is actually a bit of paracord and some zip ties. So that's it for this pouch, guys. Now actually I have to stand up to show you what's inside. So now we are digging into the main compartment of the bag, and what I'm keeping at the very top is my cooking pot, which also has an insulated body, and it's actually very cool, a very cool object, because I have also a French press, sorry for the noise, to make coffee, and with this insulated part it's keeping your coffee or your tea warm for a while. So I love this little cooking pot from the brand Bestargo. Very good thing. Now what else? On the top I also have my hygiene toiletries pouch, and that's also something I'm gonna talk about in the video, something I want to improve, because this is super bulky, and you will see I already found a solution to replace this by something much smaller. So if I keep digging, what do we get? We get my food pouch. So here, nothing special, it's actually pretty empty right now. It's definitely gonna be full when I go hiking. But yeah, I keep dehydrated food, some nuts, some seasoning, olive oil, salt and pepper, and obviously a spork or two, a knife. Yeah, so everything basically to feed myself and to have good meals into the week. So that's for the food pouch. And my favorite pouch now, and it is my night clothes, gear, whatever pouch, and it's my favorite because it's very important to be comfortable at night, like I said in one of my previous videos, and that's why I'm super happy when I open this pouch and I'm getting ready to have a night into the wild, because I know I have everything I need to stay warm inside my sleeping bag. So let's have a look a bit more in detail this time into this pouch, because like I said, I love it so much. So first thing you are gonna find into this pouch is a sleeping mask. I have a very light sleep in general, so into the woods not so easy for me to sleep well, so definitely this is important for me to block the light. And I have also earplugs. So here, same idea for me, I have a light sleep, I want earplugs into the woods. And the rest is obviously to stay warm. So very important is a hat. You will notice that it's actually a winter hat, but I want this winter hat in summer because it's gonna get cold at night, like you have seen in one of my previous videos. I want to stay warm, so I have a winter hat even though it is summer. I have, on the other hand, some summer gloves. It's normally for hiking. You don't need winter gloves for sleeping, but summer gloves are definitely nice, trust me. And very important is also your neck protection. This is also a winter buff. This is in merino wool. So again here I want to stay warm. The neck is pretty important. I can also cover half of my face with it when I'm sleeping. So very handy. And last but not least, two elements to stay warm at night. They are your under layer, so that's typically what I would wear in winter under my clothes to stay warm when I'm hiking, but it's also super nice to sleep in. Ideally by merino wool, if not by polyester, that's okay. So in that case it's polyester, the top, and also some sort of leggings. But that's basically my pyjama, super warm, super lightweight, very good. And yes, second element is a warm pair of socks. Even though it is summer, again I repeat myself, I want to take some winter pieces of gear, and this is one of them. Winter socks here in merino wool, very important to stay warm at night. And for the rest, they are just my changing clothes for tomorrow, fresh pair of summer socks and underpants. So that's it for my favorite pouch inside this bag. So now guys, we are reaching a very important group of gear, which is basically my sleeping system, which is deep down in the main compartment of my backpack because I need it only at the end of the day. So let's have a look. The first and main element is obviously gonna be your sleeping bag. In my case, I invested a bit of money because this is one of the most important items, just like the bag here. So those two items are a bit more on the pricey side. In the case of the bag, this is Osprey Kestrel, 58 liters, and I think it costed me something like 150 euros. And this is a down sleeping bag for 3 seasons. Very important, not 4 seasons. Don't take this in winter, but definitely good for 3 seasons. From the brand Nature Hike. It is a rectangular sleeping bag because I prefer the rectangular ones. And like I said, it is down, so it is super lightweight, and the comfort temperature is 6 degrees. I tested it last time in my overnighter. It was 4 degrees at night, and it was definitely nice and cozy. Of course, I was not warm, but it definitely did the job. I was warm enough at night, no problem. So yeah, first very big important piece of gear for your sleeping system. Now, another piece of gear from the same brand, Trekology, is an inflatable pillow. So feel free to take one, add a layer of comfort, important for me because I'm a light sleeper. The last item for my sleep system is actually in this next pouch just under the main compartment, and that's also a piece of gear I've presented to you guys in my previous videos, and this is my sport utility blanket from SOL. What it is typically simply is just a premium survival blanket. So that's what I use to cover myself, to protect myself from the rain, from the sun during this first overnighter. And again, I'm gonna talk about it later in the video. I'm planning on replacing this by a better piece of gear, but this is for later. So guys, we are reaching the end of this gear reveal, and now I'm getting into the 2 last compartments of this camping bag. Now, a super huge bulky item I'm also gonna replace, but that's the one I took for this first overnighter, is a power bank. And this is a survival type one with also a little solar panel. Like many people, what you pack into your pack is you pack your fears, and one of my fear was to lose power, to lose light, and so on. So I packed this super huge power bank, but I was very aware it's way too bulky for a hike and so on, so that's why I'm replacing it. You are gonna see this at the end of the video. Just like I said, you pack your fears the first time you go out in the wild, and I packed an extra camping light. So this is a lantern type camping light. Even though I had already a headlamp on this power bank, I also have a lamp. I have eventually also the torch feature of my phone. So you pack your fears. I'm thinking about not taking this for my next hike and camping trip. Hello, you wake up? Sorry. And last item I have in this compartment is my SAS survival guide, pocket size, in this Ziploc bag, together with a few sandwich bags. So always nice to read when you are camping, and this is definitely on point. I want to read about this topic when I'm into the wild, so I keep this with me. This is pretty lightweight, super pocket format. Now guys, the very last pouch of this bag. First item is a flat sponge to clean my dishes. Second item is this waterproof bag cover, so for my Osprey bag here. And 2 last pieces of gear, my portable folding wood stove that you have seen in my previous videos. This is quite heavy. One of my regrets is that I did not buy it in titanium. This is standard stainless steel. This is quite on the heavy side, but still okay and very interesting for me to practice my skills when it comes to wood fire, so that's why I like to take it with me. And finally, the last piece of gear, other than what I was wearing on my person, of course, are these two sleeping bags at the very bottom of my bag to add a little layer of protection and padding at the bottom of my bag. And as you have seen also in my overnighter video, I use it basically as a ground sheet just at the entrance of my tent. It's adding a layer of comfort, avoiding to bring a lot of debris and dust into the tent. And it is definitely a multi-purpose item, always good to have with you guys. What is this? You smell the back? Yes, of course. Ciao. Alright guys, that's it for the content of my camping bag. Now what I want to do for the end of this video is to talk a bit more about what did not really work well for me in terms of gear for this first overnighter. So we are gonna have 3 categories of items I want to talk about. First, the items that I'm gonna ditch. Second, the items that I'm gonna replace or switch for another item. And finally, the items that were kind of well for me, but that I want to upgrade. So let's go for the end of this video. So the first thing I want to ditch is actually not really this item, but is the quantity of water I took with me for this hike and this first overnighter. Basically what I did is that I took this water bottle completely filled, so it's 70 centiliters, but I also had my camel bag in my backpack and it was also full with 2 liters of water. So in total I had 2.7 liters of water, so almost 3 kilos just for the water. So that's something I'm changing for the next time. I'm at least ditching this 70 centiliters of water. I'm gonna only fill my camel bag and I'm not gonna fill it full, probably only up to 1 liter 50, but not more. So that's the first change. Now an item I'm gonna ditch is this camping lantern. I talked about it quickly. It's a great camping lantern, no problem at all with the quality and the use of this, but it's simply that I went overkill on my lighting option and I want to save a bit of weight. So this goes, I have still my headlamp, my phone to provide me light, so it is more than enough and I'm ditching this for the next time. Now, what about the items I want to replace for next time? So the first item is this shovel, multifunction shovel. Again here, no problem with the quality, it did its job, but simply I did not use it a lot. So yeah, I did not really find the use for it. I believe unless you want to really dig for your shelter, this is not really needed. So what I'm gonna take next time, for the first time for my next overnighter, is this hatchet from Fiskars. I really did not want to take a hatchet for the first time because I'm a beginner and I'm always scared to hurt myself, especially when I'm alone. But next time I want to take a hatchet to practice my skills with it, to learn how to use it properly, and I'm sure it's gonna help me also to do a better job at building a shelter, or at least the base, the beginning of a shelter. Now the next item I want to replace, you already knew it, it is this super bulky, amazing power bank, solar power bank, survival, perfect for survival. You also have some light on this. So it's 30k milliamps, so amazing. It's never ending basically, but it weighs a lot, like it weighs a kilo, like no joke. So I already bought a replacement. I bought this ultralight power bank here from Cellular Line. It's super lightweight, it's 10,000 milliamp, and here I have a cable with 3 different plugs, so an adapter basically for multiple items. So that's what I'm taking now. It weighs nothing, and honestly 10,000 milliamps is more than enough for an overnighter, even 2 days into the wild, so it's gonna save me weight. Now another item I want to replace is this super bulky basically hygiene pouch slash toiletries pouch, and Maybe some of you wondered why I did not show the content of it. It's because I want to show you now, and I will replace it simply by this now Ziploc bag. And again, it's gonna save me a lot of weight, and what's inside, like you can see, is basically my water filtration system. Here I have a Soya mini filter, and I have a water pre-filter, so simply like a textile, and I have some aqua tabs and some toiletries, so soap, mini deodorant, toothpaste, so really, and a toothbrush. So really all the basics, super lightweight, just in a Ziploc bag. It's gonna again save me a lot of weight. And now I want to show you two items that I actually enjoyed, they did the work, but I wish to upgrade them for my next overnighter. So let's have a look. The first one is my sleeping pad. Like I said, it was not bad at all. The advantage of this is that it's super lightweight. I had overall a super ultralight shelter and sleeping system, but now I don't want to cut on the comfort of a sleeping pad anymore. I'm a light sleeper, so I already ordered a thicker sleeping pad that is gonna be definitely heavier. So here I'm actually going the other direction. Instead of trying to save weight, I'm gonna have more weight, but I want an increased comfort when it comes to a good night's sleep. So I'm gonna soon receive a new sleeping pad, much bigger than this one. It's gonna be about like this big, still obviously not 1 or 2 kilos, but definitely double weight as this one. And last but not least, I want to upgrade my tarp. So as you have seen on my previous video about my overnighter, I use this premium emergency blanket to cover the top of my shelter, to create simply a roof for it. But this is great because this is ultralight. This is 320 grams, so it weighs really nothing. However, I'm investing in a proper camping tarp now. It's gonna be heavier, just under 1 kilo, but I want something of a better quality, also better flexibility to do different types of shelter and to properly cover myself if it's raining, because this is great, but if it rains properly, it's not gonna cover my ground sheet plus mosquito net in its entirety. So I want to replace it with a proper camping tarp, and eventually I will keep taking this when I go in winter camping into the woods, to have an extra layer of warmth under myself or over myself. So that's it, guys, for my different upgrades, what I ditch or what I replace. I hope it's helpful also for you, maybe for your second or first overnighter. I hope you enjoyed my feedback about the items I want to change and improve and so on. And I want to give a special thanks to one of my early subscriber, Paul Meyers, because basically I've done this section especially based on one of his requests in one of his comments. He was asking why my pack was so heavy, what I was taking with me and so on. And I promised him I would review some items that I want to change, to ditch, to upgrade. So that's why I did it. And again, thank you to all my early subscribers like Paul Meyers. It's really helpful. It's really guiding me, helping me to give me directions in which type of content I should keep creating. So thanks a lot also for your encouragement, directions and advices. And yeah, see you as usual in the comment section. That's it for today, guys. In my next video, I'm going to take you with me again into the woods, and we are gonna be looking together for a perfect spot for a new bushcraft camp. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you are one of my early subscribers, again, I thank you all, guys, for your support, and I see you in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Stingy Prepper out.